The air shouldn't be this quiet. That was the first thing that made Lena Marlowe's stomach twist as she stepped off the late-night bus. The small town of Redfern always hummed quietly at night. Insects buzzing, a dog barking in the distance, an occasional truck rolling down the cracked main road. But tonight, nothing. It felt like the whole town was holding its breath. Her hands tightened around the straps of her backpack. The porch lights across Maple Street flickered faintly, as if they, too, were nervous. Lena had walked this route 100 times before, but tonight, something felt different. Something felt wrong. She didn't know it yet, but someone was already watching her, and they had been, for months. Lena Marlowe wasn't the kind of girl who got scared easily. She worked late shifts at the clinic. She lived alone. She knew how to change a tire, unclog a drain, and fix a broken hinge. She knew how to survive the quiet of a town too small for its own secrets. But for the past 3 weeks, she had been sleeping with a chair pushed beneath her doorknob. There was no reason for it. Not a logical one. Just a feeling. A feeling that someone had been inside her apartment when she wasn't home. A picture placed slightly crooked. A dish left out that she was sure she'd washed. Her bedroom curtains drawn even when she never used them. And then there was the dream. The dream that didn't feel like a dream at all. A shadow leaning over her bed, whispering her name, gently brushing a strand of hair away from her face. She told no one. Not her best friend, Mia. Not her co-worker, Dr. Anders. And certainly not the police. She could already imagine them shaking their heads. Nothing was stolen. Nothing was broken. You sure you didn't misremember? She'd been gaslighting herself long before anyone else had a chance. But tonight that fear had grown legs. And it was following her down Maple Street. Halfway home, the road curved behind a row of overgrown pines. And that's when she saw him. A figure standing just beyond the street lamp's reach. Still, silent, like a shadow sculpted into a man's shape. Lena froze mid-step. Her breath caught. She tried to tell herself it was nothing. Maybe a neighbor taking out trash. Maybe someone walking their dog. Maybe. No. No dog. No trash. No movement. Just watching. Her heart thudded hard, her ears filling with the sound of her pulse. "Keep walking," she whispered to herself. She did, and the figure stepped back into the darkness. Not away, just deeper. A chill slid across her shoulders like cold fingers. She didn't know that this moment, this tiny decision to keep walking, would be the moment police later circled in red ink, again and again, desperate to understand how everything had gone so perfectly wrong. By the time Lena reached her apartment building, her hands were trembling. She fumbled her keys twice before getting the door open. Inside, the familiar smell of vanilla candles greeted her. But the air was wrong. Too still. Too cold. Like the room had just exhaled after a long wait. Her phone buzzed. "Mia." "Hey," Lena said, trying to sound normal but failing miserably. "You okay? You sound off." Lena hesitated. Then she told her. Not everything. She couldn't bring herself to talk about the shadow in the dream. But she described the man on the street. The silence. The feeling. Mia didn't laugh. Didn't brush it off. "Len, lock your doors. All of them. Right now." "I did." "Double lock them." "I did." "Good. Listen to me. I'm coming over." "No, don't. It's late." "I don't care. I'll grab my keys, Anne." A soft sound echoed from Lena's bedroom. A sound like a drawer gently clicking shut. Lena's voice went still. "Mia." "What?" "I'm not alone." She stared down the hallway toward her bedroom door, slightly ajar. She had left it open, but not like that. Not halfway. A soft creak. Then another. Someone was in there. Someone who had been waiting. Her throat tightened as the air left her lungs. "Lena, talk to me. What's happening?" "Mia," she whispered, tears welling in her eyes. "There's someone in my room. Call the police." But Lena didn't move. Because she felt it, the shift in the apartment's atmosphere. The weight of someone else's presence. The slow, patient awareness that she wasn't the only one breathing the air in that hallway. Her voice was barely audible. "He's here." Her hand shook as she stepped backward, her heel hitting the entryway console. She didn't want to scream, didn't want to make a sound. Every instinct in her body told her that if she drew attention to herself, he would come out. She could hear Mia's voice, panicked, distant, begging her to say something. But Lena's phone slipped from her fingers and clattered softly onto the floor. That tiny sound echoed like a gunshot. The bedroom door creaked wider. Just an inch. Then another inch. Then stillness. Her chest tightened as tears spilled over. She turned and ran for the front door. She grabbed the doorknob, twisted, pulled. It didn't budge. Her breath hitched. The deadbolt was unlocked. But the bottom lock, the one she never used, was engaged. From the inside, she had not locked that. Someone had. Someone who wanted her to stay inside. Her vision blurred. Her knees nearly buckled. A voice drifted from the dark hallway behind her. Soft, male, amused. Leaving so soon? Lena didn't turn around. Couldn't. Her fingers trembled on the doorknob as tears fell silently down her cheeks. He stepped closer. She could hear the quiet confidence in his footsteps. No rush, no fear, no hesitation. Like he owned the walls around them. Like he had practiced this moment in his head over and over again. "You shouldn't have started locking the windows," he murmured. "You made it complicated." Lena swallowed a sob. "Please," she whispered. "Oh, don't beg," he said gently. "Not yet." The word yet made her entire body shiver violently. She forced herself to turn. And she finally saw him. A man in his mid-30s. Clean-shaven. Calm eyes that were almost warm. A pleasant face. The kind of man you wouldn't look at twice in a grocery store. And he smiled. Like they were old friends. Like he was happy. "I've been waiting a long time to talk to you, Lena." She stumbled backward until her spine hit the wall. He raised one hand, not to strike her, not to grab her, but in a gentle shushing motion. "Don't scream," he said softly. "If you scream, things get messy." Her breath came fast and shallow. She forced out the words. "What do you want?" He tilted his head. "What I've always wanted," he said. "For you to see me." Her eyebrows furrowed. He chuckled at her confusion. "You really don't remember, do you?" She shook her head, trembling violently, and something in his smile twisted, an expression that looked like disappointment and excitement woven together. Then he said the sentence that would later haunt every detective assigned to this case. "Maybe I should remind you." What happened in the next 15 minutes? The neighbors didn't hear it. Not the struggle. Not the muffled scream. Not the crash that shattered the picture frame near the hallway. Nothing. It was as if the apartment swallowed the noise whole. When Lena went silent, Mia called the police. Officers arrived in 11 minutes. But by then, the apartment was empty. No blood. No fingerprints. No sign of forced entry. No sign of Lena. Just the faint scent of vanilla candles and a single message written on the bathroom mirror in Lena's lipstick. "She knows." The detective stared at it for a long time. Who knew? What did Lena know? Why had someone wanted her gone before she told anyone? And most disturbingly, why was there no sign that she had ever fought back? Unless she knew her attacker. Unless she trusted him. 48 hours later, investigators pulled Lena's phone records. The last call she made was to Mia. But there was a second call made just 1 minute later. A call no one could explain. A call to a number not saved in her contacts. A number registered under a fake name. A number that had been calling her apartment for 3 months before the night she disappeared. A number that belonged to the man who had taken her. A man who had written the message on the mirror. A man the police had never even heard of. And when they traced the GPS of that call, they froze. Because the signal didn't come from the town, or the county, or even the state. It came from her apartment. The call came from inside, meaning he hadn't left when police arrived. Meaning he might have been watching them search. meaning he could still be close. And he wasn't done. Not even close.